The following happens in every jurisdiction in Canada, provincial, federal. You become premier or prime minister, you appoint judges. Well, the feds don't do it, not enough anyway. They don't have many of them. Before we get into that, please, so we aren't judged, we have to have funding to keep presenting these issues to you. Now, Gary Clewley is a noted criminal defense lawyer in New York, Toronto. He joins me right now because Ford in Ontario, and the other premiers it happens to, was criticized by all kinds of what I call lefty lawyers saying, you say you're going to appoint judges who are of like mind, and they say that's wrong. The NDP want like-minded NDPers. Well, I mean, is that not what you get to appoint judges?
Of course you do. It's been going on since, well, forever.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, look, when the NDP
you're not going to appoint a judge who is, a socialist if you're a capitalist.
Well, and worse, when the NDP got elected, the one
every judge appointed was a socialist.
They went down and cleaned out the legal aid clinic. There was nobody left. There was nobody left to give advice to them.
So it's a little bit, down in their mouth for the NDP opposition to say, well, you can't do that.
It's so hypocritical. Their only beef is that they haven't held office for 30 years, and there'll be another 50 before they get elected. That's their beef.
Well, let's talk about an experience that I had, and it was with the Bar Association, and they had to clear all judges, all potential judges. And there was one man who became a judge later on, after I went back to the Minister of Justice, and we couldn't get him through. And I found out that there's somebody in the Bar Association group who didn't like him. We don't like him.
Yeah,
so we're going to blackball him.
That happened.
And once that happened, actually, Mark McGuigan was Minister of Justice. Trudeau was the Prime Minister. That guy was a judge in no time flat. But your replacement set politics was another.
Oh, of course. It's been going on forever. And he was just honest about it. I mean,
but do you not agree he was right?
He was right, of course. Don't forget, there's a judicial committee, right?
Yes.
Of very solid people.
Yes.
They do a very good and thorough job of canvassing the candidates. They call the people who refer them.
Yes.
They do background checks on them. It's not a hunt for people that agree with them. It's a hunt for people that are capable. It turns out that the best of them agree with the premier.
Well, let's just talk about that, because when the Bar Association had a bunch of, good old boys, that's what happened in the case I referred to, they just said, I don't like this guy because he beat me in a case. Yeah. But so now there's a judicial committee which looks to see whether you're a drug addict, whether you're a wife beater, whether you are qualified, whether they think you would be a hard-working judge, because it's a tough job.
Yeah, but when I say that they agree with the premier, I mean about the importance of public safety. I mean, what he's really complaining about, he's not talking about the small claims court. He's talking about the willingness, to let people out on the street who ought not to be out there. There's too many of them. We see this all the time. And all he's saying is venting that frustration that he knows that is felt across the province. Too many people are getting out on bail when they shouldn't be, and not sentenced enough when they get convicted.
Appoint more like-minded judges. Gary Clewley, thank you very much. 3 minutes. This show provides independent analysis of the issues. We are not paid by the government. And as I am finding, so much business in Canada relies upon various governments that they don't want to sponsor or advertise on a show which may become controversial, which talks about liberty, freedoms, sometimes criticizes government. I've had guests on that support the government. But people are saying, you know what? We don't want to bite the hand that feeds us, i.e. government, which is why I hope you'll subscribe and contribute to keep this show on the air.